Greetings all, my name is Shannon Foster, and I am excited to announce my candidacy for the Master of Educational Technology from Boise State University. This is the culmination of 2.5 years of hard work, but every project and every hour I missed of sleep is about to pay off. My husband and I live in a small town in central Montana with our 8-year-old son and our 3-year-old 4-legged daughter. After teaching for 18.5 years in small Christian schools, I resigned my full-time position as a K-12 Spanish teacher to follow my husband to central Montana as he started his career. In central Montana, we lived in a small town of 250 people and have just recently moved to a larger town with about 400 people. With few employment opportunities as a full-time teacher, I had the awesome opportunity to pursue a dream, obtaining a master's degree and a graduate certificate. The Master of Educational Technology from Boise State University and the graduate certificate in online teaching were just what I was looking for. After completing my graduate certificate in August of 2014, I am ready to finish the MET program and graduate in December of 2014. Please forgive the lack of personal video in this introduction. I am currently undergoing chemotherapy treatment and my appearance is less than healthy. I want this video to leave its viewers with a realistic view of who I am and what I have had the opportunity to accomplish in the past 2 years while participating in the MET program at Boise State. In my closing remarks, I will include a short video to satisfy the personal video requirements for this video. Enjoy! Even though pursuing a master's degree was a lifelong dream, one of the main reasons I chose this program was to learn how to develop and create theoretically sound online courses for K-12 students, and I wanted the courses I created to be interactive. But most of all, I wanted students in small Christian schools or small rural schools to have the same elective opportunities that their counterparts in larger schools and school districts have. With dwindling financial support in private education and financial strains on already tight public education, I saw, and still see, online courses in K-12 education as doors that will open up the world to students and give them the 21st century skills they need. As a previous colleague of mine so aptly stated, we, as educators, must educate students for their future, not our past. When I began the Master of Educational Technology adventure in fall of 2012, I thought I knew a great deal about technology and education. However, I was sadly mistaken. Even now, as I finish up my program, I know there's an amazing amount of technology out there for education that I still know nothing about. One of my first assignments in the MET program that scared the socks off of me was my introduction video in EdTech 501, Introduction to Educational Technology. It was my first experience creating a video, adding music, and uploading to YouTube. Having never done this before, I had no idea what to expect from me or from my courses. As I created the video, I kept wondering if I was doing it correctly, but when I finished creating, I was amazed at what I could do. The finished product was better than what I expected, and I thought to myself, this wasn't so bad. Why were you so worried about it? I must say that this amount of work I put into it was more than I expected, but the results were well worth it, and I was excited to make another one. Things haven't changed much as I sit down to work on this reflection video. I still worry about the finished product, but since my first experience, I have come to realize that with a little imagination and a whole lot of concentration, I can make a great looking video. So, from my first video production experience in 501 to this current video production in 592, I can see a growing confidence in my abilities to create, edit, and produce a professional looking product. Another of my first classes was EdTech 502, the Internet for Educators. This was my first look at HTML and CSS coding. I thought I would never get it. Very late nights, lots of frustration, not to mention tears that accompanied my frustration, and not just a few times I was about ready to give up on the whole thing. My professor, Laura Evanovsky, was the most patient person I could ever meet. She diligently helped me to figure out how to do whatever I needed to do in order to complete a lesson. By the end of the semester, I had a very good understanding of the basics of HTML and CSS, plus a few more advanced skills that have come in handy as I continued on through my courses in the MET program. One of my favorite finished products in my whole program was my 502 virtual field trip. This project was modified from a project I did with my Spanish levels 3 and 4 a few years back. I embedded external videos, I created and imported a Google form, and of course continued my frustrating experiments with Adobe CS6 Dreamweaver and HTML5 and CSS coding. With each project I completed in my EdTech 502, my sense of accomplishment and confidence grew, only to be dashed when I started the next HTML5 project. Here is the homepage of the project hosted on the EdTech 2 server. By visiting the website posted below the image of the Bailamos, Let's Dance homepage, you will be transported to a dancing lesson for Latin dancing. As much as I hate to admit, EdTech 504 was not a class I was looking forward to taking. Anything that has to do with theory turns me off at the word theory. Having graduated with my undergraduate degree over 25 years ago, I remember the one course I hated the most, and that was my Theories of Education course. Although Dewey and Bloom were both part of my original educational theories education, there are many new theories that have emerged, and others that seem to have disappeared. I do have to say that I never expected to enjoy the class so much. My 504 final synthesis paper expresses my understanding of David A. Kolb's experiential learning theory and how near-term and mid-term emerging technologies, as established by the New Media Consortium Horizon Report, can really transform an instructional designer's methods as they design instruction for today's learners. Although creating projects such as my previous showcased artifacts from EdTech 501 and 502 was my most favorite part of the whole MET program, this paper really helped me to understand why I enjoy the project aspect so much. I am an experiential learner. I like to learn by doing, even though it is tough sometimes. I like the hands-on approach to learning. How experiential learning works so well together with emerging technology gave me clarity in how I might design instruction for learners in today's educational climate. EdTech 521, Online Teaching in the K-12 Environment, was an eye-opener regarding what was expected from an online teacher. As I progressed through the class, I realized there's a whole lot more to it than what I expected. The variety of tools available to the instructor, the preparation that goes into every lesson or activity, the methods available for teaching, are just a few of the activities an online instructor must consider. Of all the projects I created, both small and large, my 521 asynchronous lesson has already proven itself useful in my teaching activities. I included it as a resource in other MET coursework, and I have assigned its use to students who are learning to do their schoolwork online using Google applications. As I wrote in my reflection in my 521 learning log, quote, "If this is what it takes to teach online, maybe I'm not cut out for this. If I have to teach more than one subject level at a time, the time to create lessons would be all I was doing. Goodbye family life, goodbye social life, goodbye eyesight, and goodbye sleep." But after the lesson was created, I realized it is just a matter of updating and tweaking the lesson a bit as new technologies are introduced or links become obsolete, end quote. This project stands out to me as a great example of what I am capable of in developing lessons for practical use right here and right now and in any educational setting. In EdTech 523, Advanced Online Teaching, I was able to experience the true skills of an instructional designer. This course put into practice the many pieces I had learned during my previous classes that are important to good design methods and course development. Along with the skills I learned in prior classes, this course introduced me to a variety of other important aspects I need to consider when creating an online course. The aspect that spoke to me the most was the development of the online community and how to draw out students so they will truly engage in their new online community and not just lurk in the shadows of the course. The final project of 523 was a step away from what I was comfortable teaching. As I progressed through this course and had the opportunity to work with local students registered to take online courses in high school, I noticed a reoccurring pattern. Most of the students were from a traditional classroom and had no idea what to expect from an online course, and some of the online courses they were taking were not developed with best practices in mind. I decided to step away from designing Spanish courses and design a course that I was not at all that familiar with. My reasoning was that if I wanted to help design elective courses for K-12 students, there were more courses to design besides Spanish. This project stretched me in many ways, and when I came away from it, I was pleased that I had taken the chance. Although at this time the full course is still incomplete due to some major life challenges that arose, I plan to complete the course and offer it to the local schools with a few minor tweaks that make it applicable to individual schools. As I conclude my adventures in the Master of Educational Technology program at Boise State University, I look back over the past 2.5 years, and I see myself coming to the next stage of personal and professional development. I have moved from being a teaching professional that used technology to supplement classroom activities to an educational technologist willing to embrace technology and all it encompasses in order for learners to obtain a better understanding of a subject and have the skills needed to move forward into their future, whatever it may hold. I have become a proponent in the local school for professional development for teachers to use technology so that they have the skills needed to instruct their 21st century learners. I have had the opportunity to participate in school technology discussions to improve equipment, software, applications, and instruction for both staff and students. And in my classroom, as I plan lessons, I keep in mind that the students I teach need to be prepared for their future, not our past, and I need to facilitate that learning in a manner that embraces technology. I may be at the end of my graduate courses and master's degree, but I know there is so much more out there that I can still learn about. I am excited to see what the next 5 years has in store for technology in education.